Hey, welcome back to Life for Dem. It's Black History Month, and it's only right we talk about Black history, culture, and food all month long.
That's right, because African American culture is ancestral. Good job, Mama.
It's transcendental,
resilient, and revolutionary.
In order to understand our culture, you must understand our history.
Ooh, that was good. Nice.
Good job.
Today's Black History dish is corn MAQUE CHOUX, prepared in dedication to our Afro Natives. Corn MAQUE CHOUX is another traditional dish hailing from our home state of Louisiana, blending cooking techniques of the Native Americans, Creoles, and Cajuns. Everywhere else we'll probably just call this stewed corn.
We've been asked if Afro Natives exist more times than we can count. And our question to y'all is, do y'all remember this?
Before the U.S. became what we know it to be today, it looked like this. Then the Spanish explored the land, then came the French, then came the English, and eventually we ended up here with the Louisiana Purchase. The relationship between Native Americans and Africans began when Spain first explored the land. Afro Natives, who also go by Black Native, Afro Indigenous, and a few other self-identifications, are descendants of indigenous people of the Americas and of Africa. Y'all know we won't be able to discuss the entirety of the Afro-Native identity on a food recipe video, but we'll share an overview of two groups: the Black Seminoles and the Freedmen.
The Black Seminoles are the descendants of Gullah Maroons who integrated with Native Americans in Spain-occupied Florida. At the time, Spain was using Florida's tropical wilderness as a buffer colony, making Florida the perfect settlement for the Maroons who wanted freedom and the Native Americans who didn't want to be dominated. This group viewed themselves as one tribe and lived together peacefully for generations as their population grew. In 1818, the American Army marched into the Florida Territory, and the first of three wars erupted between the U.S. and the Seminoles. The Maroons and the Native Americans fought side by side to defend their home. A U.S. congressman is documented saying that the Black Seminoles were contending against the whole military power of the United States. It is the fiercest resistance in our country's history. When the Black Seminoles were captured, the Army refused to send them back to slavery out of fear of what they'd do on the southern plantations. Instead, our fearless warriors were forcibly sent west to the Indian Territory in Oklahoma. Unfortunately, their fight for freedom didn't end there. Their descendants can still be found in Oklahoma, but also in Texas, northern Mexico, and in the Bahamas. To share about the freedmen, we'll have to rewind the timeline to the Trail of Tears. Native Americans were expelled from millions of acres of land their ancestors owned for generations. The trail sent them west, trekking different routes spanning over 5,000 miles in the bitter cold, rain, and snow. Many suffered and many died along those routes. Thousands of our ancestors, free and those who were considered property, were a part of this history as well. tribes followed their own principles and laws on what they allowed with people of African descent. While some tribes were fully integrated, some were the complete opposite. By the outbreak of the Civil War, there were 10,000 enslaved Afro Natives who spoke their tribe's languages and were reared in their cultures. The end of slavery mandated the end of forced labor, but it created a complex issue of Afro Native identity and citizenship rights. There is always discourse, mocking, and questioning of Afro Natives' existence. For some, it's in their DNA, and for others, it's in their ancestry. These are just two parts to a bigger, richer Afro Native history.
Thanks for tuning in to another Black History, Culture, and Food episode. We'll see you on the next one.